besties. Welcome back to the Girls That Get It podcast with your hosts, Ken and Han. We're back with a very special episode today, super infamous on the Ken and Han channel. If you know anything about us, Kenna, tell them what we're doing today.
All right. In today's episode, we are doing Girl Talk. And what this is, we started this series on our channel a while ago. It definitely was not an original idea. So many creators have done this. But it was one of our first videos to get a lot of traction. And it's something that we have always really enjoyed doing because we get good feedback. And I'm not going to lie, these are the ones that we go back and watch when we're down or feeling silly. And we're like, oh,
it's true.
Previous me knew what was up. So we have made a list of questions that we're going to ask each other, and they're all kind of related to all things girl, relationships, drama, self-confidence, just all girly things, whatever that might mean to you. That's what we're here to do. And it's fun to just have it's almost like a slumber party. You're talking shit with your besties, except we probably won't be talking shit. Or maybe
we're just trying to give you advice. We're just trying to give you and each other and ourselves advice, to be honest.
Yeah. Honestly, retweet for yourselves.
Yeah, because like Kenna said, we literally will go back and watch these and be like, oh, I should listen to my old self.
Yeah.
Now, am I gonna? I don't know, but I should.
Yeah. Well, I will also say there's some things that I rewatch. I'm like, wow, my opinion has changed.
Oh, yeah.
So it goes both ways.
That's true. Okay. Let's just get into it.
I guess so. Do you want to ask me a question first? Or no?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll go first.
Oh,
Okay. So
these make me so nervous.
Right? I know. That's why I said I wanted to record this one first, just because the pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one I wasn't going to ask because I know that we have talked about this before.
Okay.
But since you said that our opinions changed a lot between certain episodes, I'm just going to go ahead and ask it again. So, can guys and girls truly just be friends?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain? I don't know, because
I get this. I get this. I get this. I truly get this.
I know, that's why I wanted to hear your take on it.
I will say I am typically a guy's girl. The majority of my friends in the past have always been guys, and fuck that bullshit rumor where guys are less drama. They are just as much drama, and I'm here to put that on the books. So that's not why.
That's a hot take, but okay.
Anyway, I know a lot of girls and guys often get insecure or have an opinion on whether you can be friends with someone of the opposite sex and truly be just friends. And as someone that has had these friendships with guys for several years now, some going on 10 years, I can truly say there's not a single one of my guy friends that I have feelings for, that I want to be romantic with, that I want to spend the rest of my life with. They are just my guy friends. And naturally, I do think sometimes guys can be flirty, girls can be flirty. I'm not saying every situation. There's no lines crossed, because clearly we all know someone that's been crossing the lines. But I don't think it's fair to generalize that all guys and girls can't be friends. Because in that same note, I've had some of my guy friends ride so hard for me, and almost like a brother or a friend way. Harder than some of my girlfriends do, harder than sometimes my family does. They truly show up, and I don't know, they're just there for you. And I will say, on the flip role, I think a lot of people look at me and think oh, she either wants to sleep with or probably has slept with all her guy friends, and that's just absolutely not the case. And I wish girls would change that mentality, because the more we can normalize healthy relationships with the opposite sex, the better things are going to be. If you keep putting those standards and oh, they're doing something, or oh, they're mischievous, they're going to be, because they feel like they have to hide it. And I've had guy friends whose girlfriends don't like me, and they view me as a threat, when really the sooner their girlfriends like me and we become friends as a girl to girl, you'll realize
the better it's going to be for
no
everybody.
Threat. And I'm not coming for your mans. Your man's not coming for me. Put your ego down, okay?
Yeah,
so
it's true. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Good one.
Thank you. All right. My question for you.
I'm scared. I don't know why. Okay, go ahead.
What is something you see other girls do that makes you think to yourself, oh, this is why girls have a bad rap?
Oh, Bessie, that's a good
Thank you.
one. That is a good one.
This kind of plays off the last question, but you get my point.
Oh yeah, this one's good. This is some tea. Not even. I'm just like in my head right now while I'm like talking and putting in these filler words. I'm thinking of like all the scenarios of like things that sometimes girls do.
We do a lot.
You said that give them the bad rap of like being quote unquote crazy.
Not even that, but like
you said.
I don't know if I explained it the best. So you know when you see a girl maybe do something silly or something that's like not in her best interest, it gives all girls a bad rep. Like we have this communal reputation as the same gender that is stereotyped a lot. But yeah, sometimes crazy falls into that category. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I will say
she's speaking for the entire girl community here.
No, I'm not. Don't take my word for like 100% facts because this is just what I think. Let me just make that clear. But a couple things I will say is a lot of times I've noticed, and when I say I've noticed this in girls, I'm guilty. This has been me at a certain point in my life. I don't think that it's me anymore, and maybe Kenna's gonna be like, yeah, it is. But this was me once, and this is a lot of girls that I know, a lot of girls that I see. Girls have a very, very, very hard time letting go.
Retweet.
And the process of getting to the point where you finally do let go, it can be ugly, and girls will do things that should not be done.
We've all done one of these things we're not proud of, ladies. It's not okay.
And these things that can be done by girls as a result of trying to let go can be among the following. Stalking on social media, looking for something to be mad about, checking when they're active, checking their location, checking who they posted with, what story they posted, where they are, who they might be with. Oh, they're with Chase. Well, Chase has a sister who has a friend named Emily. Oh my gosh, that must mean that Emily and my man's Brian are effing. Like, no, sis, you're just making up that scenario in your head because you saw that Brian was on a ski trip with his best friend Chase. Like, it's not that serious, okay? And these are all names that I'm just making up. So if your name is Brian, Chase, or Emily, I'm not coming for you. But women can do a lot of we can just be in a bad mindset sometimes, and letting go is not of our strongest suits, especially when you're younger. I feel like it takes a lot of maturing to get out of that state. And so things like that, like if a man shows you that he doesn't want you, did you say this to me the other day?
Yes!
Don't let him show you a second time.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Like that's not an original kind of quote. It's definitely from Steve Harvey, but like I'll say it's mine.
But it's facts. It's facts. It's true.
Oh my gosh. You just dropped the knowledge with that one. You low-key exposed the entire girl species, but like we've all done it at some point.
We all have. It's true. It's true. We are not innocent.
No, and preach, sister.
That's probably the biggest one. Wow. I would say, because it's true. We all know. We all.
There's nothing wrong with admitting that too, because that just means you've grown. Like you wouldn't be able to admit that if you couldn't see and have changed your actions. Like we've all done it.
Exactly. Okay. My next question for you. I'm honestly excited to hear what you have to say about this because I don't know that I've ever asked you this question. This one is more like personal, so it's not really like advice. Okay. It's just kind of like stories related to relationships that I want to know. Can you share the best and worst dates you've ever been on? Like you don't have to say the names, obviously.
Tell me why. That's one of my questions for you. Yeah,
is it really?
I just said the worst. I didn't really care about the best, but okay. Oh my gosh, wow. I have to really think about it. Oh, sorry. The best.
You're good.
Okay, worst date. I'll say my first date ever was probably worse just because everything since then has been better. And that's not to diss on the first one, because the first one was fine, but we were so young we couldn't drive. Like our parents had to drop us off, and it was cold. It was November, and we hung out in a park. And I didn't bring a jacket because I was trying to be cute. And so I was just cold, and like of all the ones that I would want to go back and relive, or like would do again. That's just not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the best one, well, okay, what do you qualify as a date? Like not just hanging out with someone, or not just like seeing each other, or like taking a trip, or is it like something that was planned?
I don't know, because I want to say that it's something that was planned.
Someone that was like, let me take you on a date. Not just like how you spend your weekends with your boyfriend or whatever. Because I feel like once you start dating, you're not like, oh, we're gonna do, like, sometimes you're like, let's do a date night, or like it is a date, but it's not like.
I guess if one of your examples is of someone that you like dated and it was like an event or like a thing that happened that wasn't an official like let me take you out, I guess that counts. Because a lot of people don't really like ask people on dates.
I'd love
anymore,
it when they
so
do.
It's kind
though.
of like, me too. Men, if you're listening,
ask us on dates.
Ask us on dates.
Okay, I'll say this one just because I don't think I've ever told this story. Maybe I think I told you, but other than that, no one really knows.
Okay.
So the last person I dated, the first date we went on, I would probably say was my favorite just because of the effort that went into it, and it was kind of like a movie. We went to a museum, which I know sounds lame, but it was a nice like ease into the evening. Like we spent a few hours there, looked at it. It also, I had lived in Manhattan for 4 years. I had done a lot, but I also had this bucket list that I wanted to check everything off of. And he didn't know about the bucket list. He didn't know what was on it, but this museum was on the bucket list, but it was like a little out of my way. So I never went. So when he suggested it, I was like, and I didn't tell him until after, but I was impressed that because I got to check something off my bucket list. And then we went to dinner after, and it was just a good time. And then, I guess what was cute about dinner, he had made reservations before and not asked me or told me that he made a reservation, or if I asked if I like wanted to do something besides museum. Like I didn't know what kind of like evening I was getting in on. He's like, oh, like, would you want to go to dinner?
Right.
And so then he like got out his phone, looked at places, picked a place.
I
see. Then it was later when he was like, oh yeah, I made a reservation. And I was like, oh,
he tried to play the,
right,
I just found it. Like, this is like, oh, let's just go here. And meanwhile, he already had planned that, like, that's what y'all were going to do.
Then,
got it. That's really cute.
We were at dinner. This whole date was a long date. Well,
I remember
like,
this
I
now.
think I got there at like 1, and I didn't get home until like 1 in the morning. I know.
Dang, girl.
Yeah.
That's long.
And so then after dinner, you know how in the movies, like the fire hydrants break and there's water spraying everywhere? It was like dark and there was like twinkly lights everywhere, and like that was happening. So we just got to like dance around the streets, and like then we went to the park and like looked at the moon. I don't know, just stuff like you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And it kind of was great that it fell that way. And it was one of those times where like you didn't want to like stop hanging out, but you're like, okay, it's 1 a.m. Like you have places to be. Yeah,
like we need to go. Yeah. That's good. Those are
and
the
I just
best
appreciated
dates.
It was different. So many guys were like, let's go get a drink, let's go do this, which is fine, but that was an experience.
But the creativity aspect was nice.
Okay,
yeah,
that's that.
That's good. Cute.
Okay, so since that also happened to be one of my questions, I'm gonna reciprocate and say, what was your best and worst date you've ever been on?
It's funny that you asked this question because I just answered this question to somebody in real life the other day.
Ooh.
And by the other day, I mean like a month ago.
Someone was trying to get to know your personal life.
Yeah, they were. I'll tell you who it was after this. But
no.
Yeah. No, not
okay.
that person. No, not that person. And when I was writing this question, like, I wrote it because I was remembering that this person asked me, and I was like, this is kind of a good question. And then I was like, I wonder if she'll ask me, because like I low-key already have an answer.
She said, I'm ready.
I'm just like thinking, do I really want to say my worst one on this podcast? But I guess I will, because really like, if like dad, if you're listening, turn it off, but I know you're not. Mom, if you're listening, you can listen. I don't really care. But like the worst one is just like, I don't know, it's not bad. I'll start with the best one though. The best one is probably, well, it's not probably, it is when I went to, it was a first date actually also, and the date was with somebody, well, it was with my most recent boyfriend, but at the time it was, what?
Why are we gassing up our exes like this?
I don't know, because it was a great date. It was our first date.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, just because
no shade, no tea
doesn't mean that we didn't have good memories.
You're right.
As you know,
You're
for
right.
me and for you.
You're right.
We're over here.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wow, we're like, people don't move on over here telling stories about.
No. Let me get one thing straight. People do move on, but that does not mean that you have to discount the good times. The good times. Okay?
You're right.
And it was our first date. I did not know him literally at all. I had hung out with him like once or twice before this in a group setting, and one of those times was the night that I met him. And so I was really only going because I was like, he was cool. He asked to take me out. Like, what hurt would it do? Like, let's just see what this is all about. And also, I was alone on a Friday night, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go. So I did, and it was actually a really great time, and it ended up being the best date that I've been on, because we went to Boxcar in Raleigh, which is like an arcade bar, and it's like fun because obviously it's an arcade bar, so there's games, and you don't like, there's more action than just sitting at a bar drinking and like having to talk about life the whole entire time. So it's nice. It was nice because like there were activities, and we were like joking around, having a good time, like being a little competitive, but we were also talking and having a few drinks. So it was a fun time, and we were there for probably like an hour or two just hanging out, and then we like decided that we wanted to continue the date. So then we went to the beer garden downtown afterwards, and we stayed there for like 4 hours until it closed, and we were just like drinking any like random beer. Like they have this app where you can click like surprise me, and it chooses like a random beer for you. And so we were like sitting at the bar doing that. We were playing cornhole. They have like a bunch of like yard games in the back, and it was just a good time. I like honestly haven't laughed that much on like a first date in a long time. And so when it was happening, I was like, this is going so well. Like, is this too good to be true? Like, it was so much fun, and I literally did not want to leave. So that's why we stayed at the bar until like 2:30 in the morning, and then the bartender was like, all right, y'all gotta go.
That's cute.
But it was a lot of fun. And it was nice because it was like you were saying, it was a little more creative and not just like, let's go get dinner and drinks. It was like a few activities sprinkled in. So that would probably be the best one. The worst one, probably, this is so funny. This is effed up. If this person listens, I'm sorry. You probably won't be listening, but I just feel bad, like, the situation. So it was with some person who I was, like, I kind of got set up with him through, like, mutual friends. And
was this?
No. Wait, maybe. I don't know. You don't know.
Okay, never mind.
You don't know them, like, personally or anything. I was set up with this person by a mutual friend, and this person who I was set up with lives not in my town. So
me trying to put the puzzle pieces together.
I know. I'm watching Kenna, like the gears in her head are like turning, and she's trying to figure out who this is. He wasn't from my town, and so I had met him a couple times when I was visiting my friend, and we were like talking, hanging out. He was cool. He was a really nice guy. Like, there was nothing like against him or anything, and I was like, yeah, he's a nice guy. So then when my friend approached me and was like, ooh, like, let me set y'all up, like, y'all, like, he's kind of interested in you, like, are you interested? I was like, I don't know, maybe, like, I'm single, I guess maybe I'm like ready to date, like, let's give it a shot. And so I don't really remember how this happened, but somehow this man ended up, like, I don't know how I agreed to this or who brought it up or like how this plan was made, but somehow he ended up driving like 2 hours to here, to where I live, to like go on a date or whatever. which do you not know?
I cannot think of the man's name. I don't even know.
Do you even know the scenario?
Nope.
Maybe I didn't tell. Why would I not tell you?
know.
I don't know. So he drives like 2 hours to go on this date with me or whatever. And at the time, I was living with somebody and she had a boyfriend. And I was like, hey, girl, will you go on a double date with me? Because I am like a little nervous to go on a date with this man by myself. I don't know why. Like I've met him before and he's nice, but like for some reason I just don't want to go alone. And she was like, yeah, I'll go with you. Like me and my boyfriend will go. Like, let's do it. So the 4 of us go out downtown and we're hanging out, we're chilling. And then it dawns on me, this man drove 2 hours to come on this date with me. We're downtown drinking. Like, where does he think he's staying tonight?
This is starting to click, but I can't put a name to him.
And in my head, I'm like, I didn't invite him to stay with me. Nor did he mention staying with me. Like, neither of us said anything about where he was staying.
They always be assuming they're staying. They always assume.
I know, but in my head, I'm like, he didn't say that, and I didn't invite it or offer it, so, like, I'm not planning on him staying with me. Like, why would I? And so the night's going, and then this couple that we were on a date with ends up, like, 2 of their friends ended up, like, joining our group because we, like, ran into them. And the reason why this was the worst date that I've ever been on is because halfway through the date, I realized that I really wasn't into this guy, and I felt kind of bad because he had driven all this way. And then I started to kind of like the guy who was friends with the couple who showed up like halfway through. And I was like, why is this man cuter than my date? And I felt bad in my head because I was like, I shouldn't be thinking this. Like, I'm on a date with this man, not this other man.
You weren't contractually.
And I knew in my mind that this man who I was on the date with, there was no chance. I was like, there's just not a chance for us to move forward beyond this. Like, I just know in my heart, my soul, that it's over. Like, I'm sorry. And I didn't know what to do. And long story short, like, he ended up staying at my house, and I was just very uncomfortable because I didn't know how to tell him that I didn't like him.
Who is this?
I'll tell you later.
You can't wait an hour.
And then, yeah, I've talked enough and I've talked in circles.
Dang.
But it was just weird.
I feel like I kind of remember you saying something about, like, you realized where does he think he's staying, but I don't know.
I'll tell you later. Okay, next.
Now you got me reminiscing. What was this? This was a trick question.
I know, that was too long-winded of an answer, but, like, sorry, I don't know.
I feel like you've gone on more dates than me, though. Like, in a lifetime.
Probably.
I just don't be given chances out like that. It is really hard for me to stick through, like, a dinner or something if I'm not interested, and I'm usually not.
Oh.
Or, like, you're really good about giving chances to people where I'm like, no, I'm okay.
True. Yeah, you're right.
Which
I would agree with that.
I wish I would go on more dates.
Mm-hmm.
I just see what I see.
You see what you need to see and you're out. Yeah. Yeah, true.
There's some, though, that I feel like I should tell you about. That's a story for another day.
That's a different story, unless you want to share with the class.
Right. Another time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's my turn. Yeah. Okay, speaking of first dates, who should pay on the first date?
Oh my gosh. We've talked about this before, but
yeah, well, we're talking about it again.
I definitely think the guy should pay. Like, I will always offer to pay, and I know a lot of people believe whoever asks should pay. But I am a very traditional galley in this sense. Like, I think
galley
chivalry is really important.
Girly and
obviously, once you become in a consistent relationship or even seeing each other consistently, I do think splitting more cost or offering to pay or, like, whatever it is that you do for them that they can't, like, you got to reciprocate in some way. But I do think it's also a sign, like, how much is he willing to invest in you? And I don't mean dollar-wise. I just mean, like, does he think he's taking you out on a date? To me, that implies that he's paying. Right, and it could be $1 slice of pizza. Like, I don't care what it is. It's not that. It's just, like...
Doesn't have to be some big thing.
Yeah, and it also sets the tone for, like... For me, something I really look for in a guy is, like, that they are, like, kind of like an alpha, and they, like, want to be, like, dominant in that sense. And if they're not willing to do that on first date when they're trying to impress you, and, like, obviously things get better with time and you become closer, whatever, but a first date is a really good indication of how they're going to treat you, what they value, what they care about,
True.
how they are in a relationship. Like, because they're putting their best foot
and
forward typically to try to impress you.
I was about to say that. Normally they put their best foot forward, so if it's already bad off the bat, gotta go.
Yeah, like I've had several guys be like, I really want this, like vocally say this to me on a first date, on a second date, whatever, been like, I want to impress you, I want this to be good, like wanting feedback, wanting like,
oh yeah,
and also
yeah,
girls
yeah,
acknowledge that, thank them. Like every single time a man, or specifically a boyfriend or someone I was on a date with, pays for my meal, no matter if it's our 100th date or our first date, I thank them. Like you have to.
Me too.
It's not,
yeah.
No,
me too.
It is never, whatever.
Yeah, because even though like even though we're saying like the guy should pay on the first date, on any date, whether it's the first or the 100th, like it shouldn't be an expectation that like somebody's always paying for you. So when they do, you should say, and that just goes for anybody.
For
I mean,
sure.
like I still like the way we were raised. Like I'll still say to my dad when he pays for dinner, I'll be like, "Thanks for dinner, Dad." Like that's just.
I just think
thing.
once you get comfortable with someone, sometimes you forget, and like
it's true.
The last thing you'd ever want is like your guy to like feel like he just has to do this, or like it's not like he views it as treating you. Like at least most of them do. Like that's really sweet. It's a great thing to do. I will also say, as a girl, sure, they probably pay for more than we do, but if you cannot afford whatever trip, date, adventure you're going on 3 times over on your own, you shouldn't be going. And that's my personal opinion, because how many girls do I know that go on a trip with a guy and they're like, I want to leave, X, Y, and Z happen, and they can't even afford to leave because the guy paid their ticket. No, sweetie. If you're there, you have to be able to leave.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents. My next question for you.
Okay, good one.
What is the biggest mistake you see couples making in our generation? I think I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
Really? Okay, let's see. The first thing that came to mind is spending too much time together and like talking too much. Because I think and I'm not going to act like I have never done this. Did I really? Am I cut back? That's lame. We're just going to continue because we don't got time to keep starting and stopping. The first thing that came to my mind when you asked that question, and I'm not going to act like I've never done this before, because obviously I have, especially in my youth, acting like I'm old. I'm not. I'm still young, but you get what I mean, is people spending too much time together or talking 24/7. And by talking 24/7, I mean like texting, because one, I've definitely done that with past boyfriends before, for sure. But as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that like the less you talk, and this is very subjective, like obviously if you're long distance and you don't get to see your partner for months, like the frequency of texting and like talking to each other on the phone is a different scenario. But even then, I feel like if you live in the same town as your partner, like seeing them every single day and then texting all the time when you're not together, like, it's really cute that you guys are obsessed with each other. And obviously we all want somebody to be obsessed with us in a healthy way. But when it gets to the point of like, you can't not speak, like be talking to them at all hours of the day. One, it's like, you can't rely, like you don't want to be codependent. Like there's a healthy way to be quote unquote codependent, but that's like coexisting, not being codependent on each other. So I think people tend to like rely on that safety net too much, and then it just makes the relationship get boring more quickly, because if you're texting all the time and then you have dinner plans at 6:00, and like if you don't live together or something, and then you go over to their house and then it's like, well, we've already talked about everything there is to talk about for the day over text, so like what is there, like what's new? Like nothing, because we've been talking all day. So I feel like I feel like it doesn't make the moments you spend together as special and as meaningful, and it doesn't give you a chance to miss each other if you're together 24/7. Which some people might say, well, if I live with my significant other, like how am I supposed to not see him? That's a little different, but you can also make time for your own individual lives and still have like alone time.
Oh my gosh.
So that's probably what I would say.
Today. I couldn't agree more. Great answer.
Thank you. Okay. My next question. I'm going to go out of order here and ask you this one because it's kind of related to what I just said. I wrote down, what is a healthy / ideal amount of time per week to spend with a significant other, given that you're not long distance?
Hard hitter. You know, I don't know if I'm the best one to ask this question. I don't have a lot of experience dating, and the dating I've recently done was long distance.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound so.
I know it's hard.
Would say,
I know it's a hard question, and I don't even know how I would answer it, to be honest.
I would say on average 2 times a week. Obviously, there's exceptions. I do think there'll be trips you guys want to take, whether it's for a long weekend or like if you decide like let's stack a few days here in a row and like do something out of the normal. But I think it'd be nice to do like one weekend night so you can like spend the night, hang out, like whether it's a date night or go out with friends, because that's something I think is important. I think it's important to have quality time with just you and your person, plus spend time with them and friends. And as you become intertwined, I feel like it could go from like 2 to 3 days a week, because if it's with friends, it's more of like a social gathering and like you're each other's plus ones, you're part of this friend group. So that I think that would be nice, but I also think it's important to like have time to focus on your individual careers and have those other nights to go see the boys, the girls, whoever you want to see. And I say too, because maybe you get off early one day a week and you could go like have dinner together or do something like casual, maybe not spend the night. So I would say 2 to 3. Like selfishly, I'd kind of want to spend Friday and Saturday night with them, whether we spent the day together or not. But also like, I haven't lived in the same town as someone I've dated. Yeah, in my adulthood. So I don't
adult life
like know what that would be like, because there's also,
it's hard
as
to
someone
say.
That works Monday through Friday, I need to do stuff on the weekends that are me. And if like my future boyfriend wants to come along, you're welcome to. But also sometimes I need to decompress and be by myself. So I say 2 to 3 on average. Obviously, there's different circumstances. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. For the longest time, I couldn't really see like the appeal of like living with a boyfriend or something. And I'm definitely not there. I'm not there. I'm still years away. But I'm starting to see the appeal of having someone to come home to. I'm living alone. I love living alone. This is not, no one get any ideas.
I know.
But did the Grinch's heart grow a small little size recently? Maybe. So yeah, especially, last note on this before I move on. The slower your flame burns, I swear, the stronger like your fire is. I don't know but like stop rushing things. Stop. Like there is no rush to spend. And if you spend every single weekend with him, or you go to his place or he comes to yours, doesn't that get a little boring? Like there's supposed to be spark and excitement and like spontaneity in this dating thing. And sometimes it's like, hey, plans fell through. What are you up to? Like, and that's the flexibility of that third day or that fourth day, whatever it is. So like, I don't know, just enjoy the little moments. And now you got me all soft over here. What the fuck is this? I don't like it.
I wasn't trying to. I just wanted to hear your opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, here you are getting all in your feels, Miss Little Miss anti-relationship turned softy or whatever. I don't know.
I guess I don't know what I am, okay?
Me either. I don't know. Moving on.
Next. Okay. This is my question for you.
Is this a funny one? Because you're laughing.
Can you tell me, why do bitches be tripping?
Oh, girl.
Because how many bitches that we know recently have been...
They just... maybe... I was trying to think of a joke about, like, people don't know how to walk, so they trip. But, good. Like, I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know. The answer is I don't know. Like, this goes back to the girls make themselves look bad comment. Like, sometimes you ladies just need to know when to stop, okay? And I'm not acting like I'm innocent. I will say it again, and I will say it again and again and again. I have been there. I have done that.
It's like that TikTok song that's This is so cringe. Guilty.
Guilty. Literally. We've all done it.
Clowns.
But like
clowns.
I just yeah. Clown behavior. Like we can't be out here on these streets making ourselves look like this. Okay, this isn't the circus. This isn't a carnival.
That was good.
That was good.
She said
that was good.
Yo. What was that?
That was the weirdest sound that I've ever made. I was like swallowing and about to say something at the same time, and then it like made a weird sound.
Gosh.
Anyway, I don't know why hoes be tripping. They just do. And my brother says the same thing. He says fools be fooling, and they just do. And I don't know how to explain it other than they just do. And sometimes we just need to learn when to stop, take a step back, and say, okay, this is not serving me how it should. I gotta stop. I gotta go.
People in the back, because I know too many ladies that need to be hearing that right now.
Right. I don't even know if that's an answer, but that's
and I'm not saying men don't, but from girl to girl in our girl talk right now, my homies need to get it together.
Especially at the end of the day, like, you know how people like to twist it and make the girl seem like the bad guy. So don't give them a reason to think. Don't give them a reason to twist what you're doing, saying, thinking,
Keep
feeling.
Your head down and do you. It don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That was a good one. I'm gonna put that on TikTok. Okay. This one's good, I think. And I know that we have talked about this briefly in like random episodes here and there, but I wanted to put it in here because I think that it is important. And I also heard, I was scrolling on TikTok and I came, is it Pretty Basic? Is that the one? Yeah. I heard them talk about this and I was like, I'm going to ask Kenna about this and see what she has to say. So it's like, okay, do you agree or disagree with this statement? Friendships and romantic relationships require the same effort.
Yep.
Did you? And I know we've talked about it before briefly.
Yeah, this goes into a topic that I'm just so passionate about. That's the question I didn't want you to ask.
I know.
Yep. Not this one,
really?
But the one that's related to this topic. I will say, I'm a firm believer in this. I am 1,000 times harder on my friends and have higher expectations for my friends than I do a man. And I have pretty damn high standards for a man. So don't get it twisted. But yes, True. I do think they require the same amount of effort. Different effort, but a true friendship takes consistent communication, consistent actions, like showing up for people and following through. And granted, a romantic relationship and a friendship, you're playing two different games. But like, I view my friends almost as an extension of myself. They say you are the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. Like, I want my friends to be damn good. And not just for me, but for themselves. And that's because that's the kind of friendship I I expect in return. And the older I get, the smaller the circle gets. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. So, people that try to just become friends or friendly, like wake up, smell the roses, it's going to be just as much, if not more work to stay in this circle. More. And I don't think that I'm hot shit. Right. It's just how I maintain my quality of life that I love to live. And I truly can say I wake up most days super happy to be here. And my quality of life is great. And I want to keep those standards. So 1,000%. Thank you. I would want anyone to do the same. As you should. Okay. If you're bringing me down as a friend, cut. In a relationship, there's so many things to hold on to. I've read a book and there's such a good moral. I'm not going to get into it because it will be a rant, but like there's so many things to hang on to in a relationship because it's not perfect. Like, and friendships aren't either, but there's not that like undeniable, unexplainable, irrational feeling of like or love that like can make you do stupid things. Right. She said, I love that you whispered that word. You're like, I'm not scared of it. It's just not be named. I just don't be. No. You just don't be dishing it out. Especially in romantic ways. Yeah. It's just scurry. Okay. Right. Okay. My question for you. What is your biggest downfall in a relationship? Yeah.
Like me?
Like the Hanaranduli.
Like me. Like what's my
Yeah, like what's your red
the
flag
worst thing I do or something?
Clip that. I'm clipping it.
I'm just kidding.
I'm clipping
I'm just kidding.
She said, girl, I don't got him.
I'm just trying to think because let me just be honest.
I thought you were going to say, I'm perfect.
I'm pretty cool. No, but I think that I have learned a lot. Okay, so if you don't know me, I have pretty much only been in serious relationships for the last, how old am I? 22. And my first serious boyfriend I had when I was 15. So do the math. I've pretty much I've had more long-term relationships than not. And definitely in my first two, I was silly. Obviously, I was young. I was in high school for some of them, college for some. And I definitely had several red flags that I've had to work on. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I have learned a lot from those relationships and from the breakups and from how I've handled things in the past, and learned how I don't want to handle things in the future. And so I honestly I can honestly say that I feel like now, and even after my most recent breakup, I feel like I'm even more I feel like I have an even more healthy outlook on how to act, how I want to act, and just how I want to compose myself in a relationship. So to be honest, I feel like I have more green flags than red flags now, just because I'm maturing. But if I had to say a downfall, I would maybe say that this is gonna sound bad because I am a strong person and I'm very blunt and I do stand up for myself. So when I say that I'm too nice or I give people too many chances, it's not that if a man cheats on me, I'm going to say take him back 10 times, because that's not the case.
Yes.
But
yes.
I don't know.
She gives a lot of chances.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but I get what you're saying. I wouldn't phrase it as you're too nice.
Know.
But
no.
She always sees the positive in every opportunity. And most cases, that's a great thing to have. But sometimes in relationships, she's not blunt with herself. I mean, wake up and smell the roses. This isn't a positive.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I would say that would probably be one that I'm still trying to work on. That's good.
And I only ask that because no one's perfect.
Okay,
and we can all bring attention and improve in our ways. So.
Oh yeah, and we'll always be growing. So even in my next relationship, I'm sure if you ask me this question in 5 years, I'll have more things that I will have learned and realized. But those are good questions. Okay. Oh, this one's good. I love this one. How to handle? I'm dead. Okay. I can't believe I wrote this. It's nothing about you. Sure. You'll just think it's funny because you'll know who I'm talking about. How to handle somebody who's in a relationship coming after you and persisting. If somebody who's in a relationship is romantically coming after you, hitting on you, pursuing you, and they won't stop. Bestie. How do you handle that? How do you handle that?
No.
Besides just blocking. Because I don't know. I don't know why I feel blocking. I feel like blocking is so immature. Yes.
But there's also a point where it isn't you're blocking because they're harassing you. If you have vocalized, leave me alone, I'm not interested, and they're reaching out specifically in a flirty manner, you need to do what to do to protect yourself as women in this world, not cut the cord. Okay, this is going to be a hot take.
You're right. Yeah.
So, when someone approaches you in a relationship, usually I think you know how you feel about it as a woman. If you and this person have chemistry, I'm speaking to this isn't me. I haven't done this. Hannah hasn't done this. I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate. If you decide, I want to burn this bridge, I'm not telling you to do this, but if you decide to take this route, you better fucking get married. And we say this all the time with our friends that backstab each other.
Oh,
like,
yes,
if you
yes,
are going to cross a line that you can never get back from, you better make sure this is the happiest man of your lifetime. You better get married, have kids, do the whole 9 yards, and never fucking look back, because no one will be looking and waving and wanting you back as a friend. Because if you cross this line, you. And honestly, I think the girlies are better about this.
Okay, yeah, true.
This goes to the homie hopping.
Yes, it's the
thing we talked about the other day. I should ask a question about that.
Oh no, don't even. Oh no, yeah.
My opinion is
we should've.
The homies are the one that be hopping. It's not the anyway. So
yeah, true.
And that's my roundabout way to say, all of us girls get that icky feeling when we know a guy is in a relationship, when we know a guy is talking, even if they're not in a relationship, if he's talking to another girl and he talks to you, regardless of how flattering he may be, he's going to say what you want to hear. And a lot of times this is him just checking his ego if he can still pull bitches. A lot of times it's him saying if you're going to take the risk, because we all know the girl will forgive him. She won't forgive you. Like...
Exactly. And one thing that I will add is, if somebody is pursuing you while they're in a relationship, and let's say you like them and you say, screw it, I'm gonna be a home wrecker because I really like this man. Like, let's say that you do that and he leaves his woman for you. Just remember, if he did it to her, he gonna do it to you, and he gonna do it to somebody else.
If you find that attractive, I would take a step back and reevaluate like your standards and like what you got going on, because I get it. Sometimes you don't know. Guys are slimy. Sometimes they don't tell you. But like the way I view it now as I'm older is like, if this was me, how would I want it handled? Like, I don't want to always assume the worst in the girl. And sometimes I think we're naturally wired this way, to be like, this fucking bitch coming for my man. Like, why would you? Realistically, like, as a girl, I would just shut it down. And honestly, every time, which is pretty frequently, I call a man about having a girl, dating a friend, just let the list go on, because it's happened frequently recently. Yeah. I'm like, listen, I know your girl. I like your girl. I'm not going to do this to her. And it pisses them off. Like, they get so salty. And also, it kills their ego a little bit. And honestly, they need to be knocked out of peg just a little bit. Like, as a girl, to turn down. First off, it's only going to make him want you more, because it's now something he can't have. And I'm not saying do this as a reverse psychology thing, but that's just the facts. Like, as soon as you turn down a man, they're like, oh my gosh, I want.
That's just how it goes, yeah.
But yeah, I would just say, like,
true.
Look out for your fellow girl out there. Like, you would never do it to your best girlfriend. Why would you do it to a stranger? Like,
exactly. And think about if it was you on the other side. You wouldn't want somebody doing
there's
that
no
to
way
you.
You're telling me your future husband. There's no way.
I was about to say,
he's
not worth it. He's not worth it.
And if you're looking for something fun and casual, there's plenty of other ones out there. Like, I guess to answer the question, I always call them out. And a lot of times they're just taken back. And then I just stick my guns. I'm like, if you want to be friends, fine. But like, I'm not touching you. I'm not kissing you. No. And like,
you're not crossing any lines.
Yeah. Think about this. And I always say this.
No flirting.
Think about how many guys that like, as a bro, you guys are cool. But as far as like him dating like your best friend or your sister, not so cool. Like, how many guys do we know that are like that?
Yeah,
2 men.
true.
I know more like that than not. Like, since I have established a bro relationship with you, you're cool. Would I ever trust you to date you, or like for you to date? Like, absolutely not.
No.
That's that.
Good one. Yeah, that's true.
All
right.
Is there anything you view differently about relationships now than you did as a kid?
That's wild. I was almost going to write a question similar to this, and then I didn't. Anything I view differently about relationships now than I just thought about
it when I was writing these questions, and I was like, the things I'm saying, if you would have told little me who watched Disney movies that, like, you don't just live happily ever after and it's not a walk in the park.
I was about to say that. Honestly, I don't really remember what I thought about relationships when I was a kid, besides just like everybody's happy and it's sunshine, roses, daisies, flowers. Like when you're a kid, I mean, I'm not going to say when you're a kid all you see is happy relationships, because that's definitely not the case. And a lot of kids have childhood trauma from like either their parents having issues or whatever. But when you do see happy relationships, whether it be on TV or in movies, or if your parents were happily married, or your friend's parents are happily married, or you're at school and your teacher's husband or wife comes in and it's all cutesy and whatever, you don't know anything else besides that it's just like the happiest thing ever. So why would it not work out? Like, you know, and kids don't know, we don't know anything. We just think everything's cool. So I would like, I know this is like very obvious in general, but I would probably just say that like there's levels to this shit, and it's like more complex than just you meet someone, you like them, and you live happily ever after. And it takes work. It's not just you somehow meet your Prince Charming and it's like woohoo, forever and ever. It's like a
1,000%
full-time job, but in the best way.
1,000%. That just made me think of another question. I don't know if we'll have time for it, but
so I don't know.
Okay,
we'll see. All right, I have two more. So this one, I think we maybe have talked about this in an earlier girl talk, but I'm going to bring it back up. Ghosting. Let's talk about it. Is it okay? Is it immature? How do you feel?
I think there's a time and a place.
Like, what's, just break it down.
If we're talking about being the one that does the ghosting. Again, if it comes down to he's harassing you, he will not leave you alone. He will not take no for an answer. And it's not in like the bold macho way where he's like fighting for you. You know how us girls want that shit. Ghost his ass. Like 100%. Sometimes they don't take the hint. And honestly, most of the guys you ghost are going to text you back 3-4 times like, oh, you ghosting me? Like, because they're trash. Most guys, like,
true.
A good sign of like a good guy is like if you ghost him and he doesn't respond. Like, you lost a good one. No offense, sweetie. So I am always a big believer of so like, especially if it's someone you spend a lot of time with or we're getting to know, like having the balls enough to just be like, hey, I don't think this is going to work out. If you can't even express that, why were you ever considering dating this person? Like,
retweet. That's the answer I wanted to hear.
I'm 23,
That's
Han's 22. We're getting to the point where we're almost full-fledged adults, 25. Our brains are almost matured all the way. Like, you should be able to communicate how you feel or things are going. And also, as an adult, I will say, and I know we're particularly these kinds of people, like, I would rather someone just say, like, hey, this isn't going to work out. Like, think about how many dates we've probably both been on. That's like, you go out and then you're like, I'm just not feeling it. It's so immature just to ghost, especially if you've been in, like, a long-term relationship.
Exactly.
Like,
oh, yeah. Even after a couple of dates, like, I feel like you've taken the time to like give this person the opportunity to get to know you, and that's on both sides. Like, I feel like whoever decides that like this isn't going to work, like at least just have the decency of being like, hey, I appreciate your time. This sounds like a job interview, but like, hey, like thanks for whatever, thanks for dinner, thanks for hanging out, but like I just don't think it's going to work, and I would rather just be upfront.
1,000%. And even if it might not be what they want to hear, like, I'm sure they will appreciate an honest, straightforward answer, and it will let that like cut be cleaner.
Exactly. There won't be blurred lines, and people won't be getting their hopes up or like getting led on.
The other half of your question was, how does it feel when I get ghosted? I think everyone. If you haven't been ghosted, I don't know. I don't even know if you're living been ghosted. I think it looks a little different. I'm not saying like I've been like seriously talking to someone and they just stopped. But I will say no response.
And then they just cut you off. Yeah.
Okay. Realistically, even though it hurts and you might check, have they responded, blah, blah, blah. If they ghost you, they were not like, I just tell myself, I'm like, why was I worked up over this? Why am I worked up over this? Like, if they can't give me the time of day, like they don't deserve mine.
Exactly.
Also, yeah.
Exactly. And it just shows a lot about a person, how they communicate. Like, if they can't, then you don't want them anyway.
Question for you. How long or how quickly do you think is the appropriate amount of time before you soft or hard launch a boyfriend?
See, it's so funny that you asked this because I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking
we've all
next
said
time
that.
I date somebody, I ain't never telling anybody. Like nobody's gonna know. Like I'll tell you and like my family and my friends, but like I low-key don't want to post until I get engaged, and then
You know
everyone's
my
gonna be
thoughts
like,
on
"Wait,
this."
what? She had a boyfriend this whole time?" Maybe not that serious, but like I know. I don't know. I would say that like realistically for like people who aren't trying to just go off the grid like we're saying, I would say like I don't normally post, and I wouldn't normally post
retweet.
a man's unless we're officially dating. Like
I don't
be posting
if there's no title
in the first month or two of us quote unquote
absolutely
talking. No posting. Not even a story post. Unless unless there's some weird thing where it's like a giant group of people and I'm like doing some like funny whatever. But you're not gonna get a picture of you on a date with a smiley face. Like that's not happening. And definitely you're not going on the feed if you're not officially my man's. Okay. I don't know. Now I would say that I want to like wait a little bit longer into the relationship before posting anything on like my feed or maybe even my story. But in the past, I have normally posted something like a couple months into the relationship when it's official. So I think it just depends. And I've gotten a lot better about like, I feel like when I was with Josh, I used to post a lot. And I feel like I didn't post as many like
you did
photos with my most recent boyfriend, which if you look at
you put him
I
in
don't want to
second
say that
slide.
because that exposes me.
Yeah.
Well, I would put him in a lot. There were a lot of group like photos or posts that he was in, but a lot like there weren't as many of just him just me and him.
It was a different era.
So I don't know. Maybe a couple.
Yeah.
Maybe a
How
couple
do you feel
months,
about a soft launch
unless you
versus
just want
a
to go
hard
off grid and not do anything?
You know what a soft launch is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like gradually like sprinkling
face
them
pick,
in
full
over
face
time,
pick.
and a hard launch is
With the
just
tag.
nobody knows, and then bam, here we are. I like hard launch
I was
after
gonna say
like a year.
soft launched.
Like if you're gonna do a hard launch, do it hard.
Hard launched once, and it was a story. And let me tell you, the engagement on that shit was through the roof. But I'm a big fan of this. I love just the subtlety. There's something so hot about privacy and just like nobody knows the full story. They just see a hand here or there. But I do a challenge I have for myself is wanting when the time is right to be open and mushy gushy. Because I definitely stand by all the choices I made in my last one. I think I did a really appropriate amount. But whenever the time comes, I hope I'm open to it. Because I don't even post my friends on the grid.
Yeah, you will be.
Because it's at Ken and Casto. It's not at Ken and Friends.
It's true. Okay. True. Okay, my last question is, this one's good. I say that about all of them, but it is. How to handle a friendship breakup. And there's multiple parts to this that I want to ask. Well, I guess there's only two parts. I want to know how to handle it from both ends. So, like, how do you handle it if you're on the receiving end? Like, if somebody approaches you and they're like, yeah, we're done as, like, friends. Or if, like, you realize that, like, oh, this friendship is not giving what it should be giving anymore, and I am kind of done with it. But, like, how do you go about that? Because I feel like a lot of people...
Man, they suck.
I feel like friendship breakups are like harder than real breakups. So let's just hear.
I will say, as the one doing
on,
the
like,
breaking up,
both sides of a friendship breakup.
For me, anytime I've done this, before I've like decided to cut ties, I have always verbally, in person, explained to the person how I want our friendship to change, and it's not always saying, "Hey, like you're not giving me enough as a friend," because that's not typically it. It's like saying, hey, I want to work on this because I don't feel comfortable sharing X, Y, and Z with you. Or, hey, I want to work on like how we treat each other because I want to be treated this way as opposed to how you've treated me for the past 8 years. And a lot of times you can tell instantly within how they receive that information, if they even receive it. I think some friends are so blinded by the fact that, like, oh, we're friends forever. Like, life's going to be great. Like, I can always count on you. Like, sure, but can I always count on you? Are you holding up your end of the bargain? And if they're not receptive, like, I think a friend coming to you and saying, hey, I need X, Y, and Z from you is, like, truly such an honor and shows that you have a great friendship, that they're willing to put themselves out there and are comfortable enough to say, hey, I love you. We're great friends, but this isn't what I need from you right now. I need this. I need less. I need more, whatever it may be, because it's everyone's right to want and to evolve their friendships. Yeah. Like, if your friendships looked and stayed the exact same for 10 years, it's not a real friendship, period. So, and with that, I will say, if they're not receptive to it, I don't think growth. It's like a hard thing that happens. I think it's just to slowly drift away. And yes, that could be phrased as ghosting. And maybe in that case, I am guilty. But you can't beg someone to be your friend. It goes back to that saying that we talked about earlier. Like, don't let someone show you twice they don't want you. That includes friends. Like, and it'd be one thing if they said, hey, I'm not in the place where I can give you the friendship that you need right now or that you deserve right now. Like, I need time to myself, but I will come back. I've had friends, even a friend recently that was like, I wasn't the best version of myself and I let you down. Yeah. And literally water under the bridge. I don't think about it. Like, I moved on. Yeah. No, I'm so you're not, like, relieved. One, you're not mad or that like she still, acknowledged like, holding a grudge, saw that it happened. Yeah. And two, apologized. Like, and she said, I want to get this back on the right track. I know it takes time, but like, we were best friends at one point. Like, yes, of course I'm willing to forgive you. Of course I'm willing to let you back in. But it's, I think, almost a survival technique that you have to cut them off sometime. Like, you can't keep giving and draining this energy. Okay, but the other half. Yeah. When they ghost you or they slowly let you slip away, I think it takes a while to notice sometimes. It's also one of those things, tying back into another point we talked about earlier. I think you have to let go. I think when you see the signs, you have to let go. Yeah. And it hurts. And like, you'll try to fight, you'll try to keep that snap streak alive. You'll try to reach out. You'll try to start texting them again. Because trust me, the motherfuckers notice. They notice when you let go. But also, someone saying, I don't want you in my life in this capacity, it probably is the best for you too. Like, just because we've promised our friends that we're going to be friends doesn't mean we're really good friends. I said friends like 20 times in that, but like, the fact one of you is saying this isn't good, why do you want it in the first place? And that's a tough realization to come to. Like, there's that one that we still think about. I was about to say that. And we know at the end of the day it happened. Oh no. And it's what's best for all three of us. It was unfortunate the way it did happen, I would say, on all parties involved. But we were so young. And, like, it's one of those things now, it'd be so fun to catch up. But would we ever be besties again? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's because at the end of the day, we're fundamentally all three very, very different people. And you don't have to keep putting up. Like, we are a lot to deal with. You don't always have to be good in hand. Like, you know? So that's kind of my take.
I'm dead.
But that shit hurts.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It does. It hurts worse than a romantic breakup, I feel like. I don't know why. It just does. Also, it's like the ultimate rejection that, like, dang, I get that you don't want to be romantically involved with me.
Well, that's why so many people stay in romantic relationships longer, because there are physical and intimate things that you want to stay around for. Like, I think friendship breakups happen a lot more sudden, like, because there's less benefits. I'm the worst. Okay. Okay.
True. True. Yeah, you are. Okay, next question.
I have two. Can I ask you both?
How many more do you have? Because I don't have any more.
The first one's light. Oh. Do you want the heavy hitter first, or do you want the lighthearted one?
Yeah, that's fine.
First. Okay. What are you looking for?
Let's do the lighthearted one, and then we'll end on like a serious note. I don't know why I feel like that.
Back to the theme of evolving, growing, coming of age.
God. I don't know.
feel like you may have some new deal breakers or like things that you're like, oh, I really want this, like quality in a man. No shade, no tea. No shade, no tea. Just like the evolution of a girl.
No shade, no tea. And when I say like
Right.
things that I want, that does not mean that
Right.
I'm saying
I just want
like
to disclaim that.
my ex didn't
As
have
the
all
friend
of these
asking.
things. Therefore, like that's not what I'm saying at all. Disclaimer. Yeah. Because to be honest, a lot of the qualities that I want, like I've had before and I have wanted forever, but there's definitely been some evolution. I feel like, obviously, one of my number one things, and this is like one of my like, I feel like this is a luxury quality. Like this isn't. I feel like there's tiers to qualities and like men like
that I
want.
good.
Like there's luxuries, which it's like not a necessity, but it's great if they have it. It's great if they come with this feature. It's like a car. Like you don't need it, but if they come with this feature, amazing. Makes it 10 times better. I just love somebody who's funny. And that's not like, I'm not going to say that.
Oh, that's a requirement.
That's like on the
me.
line of luxury versus like, because I don't want to be
hilarious,
bored
like...
if they're not funny. Right. Like, I don't know. I just love laughing, and somebody who's funny and just like is witty. I love that. Obviously I want somebody who's kind. Okay.
Don't say that.
All right. This is like a dream man that's literally never going to exist. Well, he might. I really like,
girl, you don't know. There's a big fish out
like
there.
Me
Lots of fish.
Creating somebody that
big
literally doesn't exist. You're right. I would love somebody who has like, who's very well rounded in the sense that like they can be very kind and like heartfelt and like a little more sensitive, but also can be like alpha energy when they need to be, but also is like super sweet.
She's
but
looking
also
for the total
is like
package,
independent
gentlemen.
and like confident and like manly, you know, but also like can be very like because I don't want a man who can't show his emotions or can't be sensitive or like acts like being sweet is like weak, because that's not.
Yeah.
So I feel like a good mix of that. And other than that, funny, nice, mature, and
that's a good one.
I'm going to say this because I've always said this, but somebody who has a good relationship with their family, because I have a good relationship with my family and family is important to me. So
okay.
That would just be off the top of my head.
My next question
couple.
is kind of deep, and it comes from a book I just read. And I feel like I need like a whole, I might either do a YouTube episode on it or a TikTok about like the lessons. I don't want to get too into it, but basically my question for you, is love enough? I know, bestie. I'm sorry.
That's sad, bestie.
I think...
this is hard because the hopeless romantic in me wants to say yes.
I just had this huge epiphany.
But I don't think it always is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, that's tough because... Yeah, that's tough. I don't even know what to say because, like I said, as a hopeless romantic, like... I love love, and love is so great and beautiful, and especially for the people like these like long lasting marriages that who've been together forever, and it's like you hear like old people, you'll ask them like, what's this key to marriage, or like how have you been so happy this long, and they're just like, we just love each other, like it's just love and like whatever. But there are scenarios where you might love this person and they might love you, whether this is a long-term relationship or not. But you know in the back of your mind that like for whatever reason it shouldn't like you shouldn't be together, but you still love each other, and it may not be ending because the love went away, but it might be ending for other reasons. and you'll want to stick around because you love each other and you want to say that that's enough to get you through. But sometimes it's not, when you know in the back of your head what the answer is.
I asked it. I don't know. That's
not a
deep,
question.
But it was phrased in this book a way I'd never phrased it before. And like, just think about how many people you love. Like, so many. And I know I joke that I'm not a relationship girl or that I'm scared to say love, and that's really not the case. That's me just being sarcastic. Like, I do think, I hope to be like truly like so content and happy in a relationship one day. And like, I get,
Kenna's low-key mushy-gushy. She just doesn't like to show it.
Sometimes I show you the mushy-gushy
like,
side.
I know it. I can see through you.
If you get to see me in a mushy-gushy side, you're a real one.
I know.
I can... Yeah, okay.
You're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was just saying how it was this woman, she had been engaged for 5 years, and her husband's like, you don't want to marry me. And he's like, I know you love me, but there's a huge difference in loving someone. It's not what, sure, it's a fundamental basis of a relationship. I think it's very important, but I truly think there's so many people we could end up with, and that doesn't mean we don't love all of them. Like, you just find people that you love more. And I think a lot of what love is being ready for it and mutually having interest in a person. And it really, I hate that I'm saying this, it comes down to timing. Like, if you're ready to love and the person you're with is ready to love, like, sure. But also sometimes you might have the most perfect relationship and it's still not enough. And there's just so many other factors involved. So I think love can be enough. I think it's not always enough. Because sometimes you can love someone with your whole heart, but just know for the both of you, that. Like, the life you're currently living together maybe isn't, the best for both of you. Which hurts my heart, because like you were saying, like, as a hopeless romantic and as somebody, like, two girls in their 20s trying to, like, pursue people, find people that make them happy, and, like, eventually one day, like, be in a relationship and get married, like, it's scary to think at this indescribable feeling that's truly, in my opinion, one of the most powerful things. Yeah, like, it makes you do crazy shit.
Magical.
And I will say, I do think
magical,
it's, like,
amazing.
the most powerful thing ever.
It does.
Like, it lets you and makes you do stuff that you would never do, which ties all around all this in. But I just wanted to end on that note, because the other quote that I'll share, she had this epiphany and she was like, this is the first time I'm thinking logically and not with my feelings. And I'm a big feelings girl, but when you logically think about things, you a lot of times get your answer. Yep. So,
yeah, sometimes the logical and the feeling answer don't match up.
Sorry to end on
that
that
which
note.
one you should go with.
But I thought it was a good one to talk about. And to be honest, I fucking love this episode.
It's okay. It was.
They are.
Me
we
too.
I do more because we do have a lot of knowledge
always
and wisdom.
So good. I wish every episode was a girl talk
episode. And we hope you do too. So be sure to like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube, or rate us 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast. We love you guys, and we'll see you in a video soon. Bye. I love you. We're great friends, but this isn't what I need from you. I need this. I need less. I need more. Whatever it may be, because it's everyone's right to want to evolve their friendships.
Yeah.
Like, if your friendships looked and stayed the exact same for 10 years, it's not a real friendship, period. So, and with that, I will say, if they're not receptive to it, I don't think it's like a hard thing that happens. I think it's just to slowly drift away. And yes, that could be phrased as ghosting, and maybe in that case I am guilty, but you can't beg someone to be your friend. It goes back to that saying that we talked about earlier, like, don't let someone show you twice they don't want you. That includes friends. Like, and it'd be one thing if they said, hey, I'm not in the place where I can give you the friendship that you need right now, or that you deserve right now. Like, I need time to myself, but I will come back. I've had friends, even a friend recently that was like, I wasn't the best version of myself and I let you down.
Yeah.
And literally water under the bridge. I don't think about it. Like, I moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm so
You're not like
relieved.
still,
One,
yeah, you're not mad or
that
like
she
still like
acknowledged it,
holding a grudge
saw
or
that it
anything.
happened.
Yeah.
And two, apologized. Like, and she said, I want to get this back on the right track. I know it takes time, but like, we were best friends at one point. Like, yes, of course I'm willing to forgive you. Of course I'm willing to let you back in. But it's, I think, almost a survival technique that you have to cut them off sometime. Like, you can't keep giving and draining this energy. Okay, but the other half.
Yeah.
When they ghost you, or they slowly let you slip away, I think it takes a while to notice sometimes. It's also one of those things, tying back into another point we talked about earlier. I think you have to let go. I think when you see the signs, you have to let go. Yeah. And it hurts. And like, you'll try to fight, you'll try to keep that snap streak alive. You'll try to reach out. You'll try to start texting them again. Because trust me, the motherfuckers notice. They notice when you let go. But also, someone saying, I don't want you in my life in this capacity, it probably is the best for you too. Like, just because we've promised our friends that we're going to be friends doesn't mean we're really good friends. I said friends like 20 times in that. But like, the fact one of you is saying this isn't good, why do you want it in the first place? And that's a tough realization to come to. Like, there's that one that we still think about.
I was about to say that.
And we know at the end of the day it happened.
Oh no.
And it's what's best for all three of us. It was unfortunate the way it did happen, I would say, on all parties involved. But we were so young. And, like, it's one of those things now, it'd be so fun to catch up. But would we ever be besties again? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's because at the end of the day, we're fundamentally all three very, very different people. And you don't have to keep putting up. Like, we are a lot to deal with. You don't always have to be good in hand. Like, you know? So... that's kind of my take.
I'm dead.
But that shit hurts.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It does. It hurts worse than a romantic breakup, I feel like. I don't know why. It just does. Also, it's like the ultimate rejection that, like, dang, I get that you don't want to be romantically involved with me.
Well, that's why so many people
mister,
stay
like,
in romantic relationships longer, because there are physical and intimate things that you want to stay around for. Like, I think friendship breakups happen a lot more sudden, like, because there's less benefits. I'm the worst. Okay. Okay.
True. True. Yeah, you are. Okay, next question.
I have two. Can I ask you both?
How many more do you have? Because I don't have any more.
The first one's light. Do you want the heavy hitter first, or do you want the lighthearted one?
Yeah, that's fine.
First. Okay. What are you looking for?
Let's do the lighthearted one, and then we'll end on like a serious note. I don't know why I feel like that.
Back to the theme of evolving, growing, coming of age.
God.
I feel like you may have some new deal breakers, or like things that you're like, oh, I really want this, like quality in a man. No shade, no tea. No shade, no tea. Just like the evolution of a girl.
No shade, no tea. And when I say like things that I want, that does not mean that I'm saying,
I just want
like,
to disclaim that
my ex didn't have all of these things, therefore, like, that's not what I'm saying at all. Disclaimer. Because to be honest, a lot of the qualities that I want, like, I've had before and I have wanted forever, but there's definitely been some evolution, I feel like. Obviously, one of my number one things, and this is like one of my like, I feel like this is a luxury quality. Like, this isn't, I feel like there's tiers to qualities and like men, like, that I want. Like, there's luxuries, which it's like not a necessity, but it's great if they have it. It's great if they come with this feature. It's like a car. Like, you don't need it, but if they come with this feature, amazing. Makes it 10 times better. I just love somebody who's funny. And that's not like, I'm not gonna say that.
Oh, that's a requirement.
That's like
for
on
me.
the
If you
line of
cannot make me
luxury
laugh,
versus
'cause I'm
like
fucking
because I don't want to be
hilarious,
bored
like-
if they're not funny. Right, right. Like, I don't know. I just love laughing, and somebody who's funny and just like is witty, I love that. Obviously I want somebody who's kind. Okay.
Don't say
okay.
that.
All right. This is like a dream man that's literally never gonna exist. Well, but he might. I really like.
Girl, you don't know. There's a big fish
this
out
is like
there.
me
Lots of fish.
creating somebody that
Big
literally
sea, not
doesn't
big fish.
exist. You're right. I would love somebody who has like who's very well rounded in the sense that like they can be very kind and like heartfelt and like a little more sensitive, but also can be like alpha energy when they need to be, but also is like super sweet.
She's
but
looking for the
also
total
is like
package,
independent
gentlemen.
and like confident and like manly, you know, but also like can be very like because I don't want a man who can't show his emotions or can't be sensitive or like acts like being
That's a good
sweet is
answer.
like weak, because that's not.
Yeah.
So I feel like a good mix of that. And other than that, funny, nice, mature, and
That's a good
I'm
one.
going to say this because I've always said this, but somebody who has a good relationship with their family, because I have a good relationship with my family and family is important to me. So
okay.
that would just be off the top of my head.
My next
first
question
couple.
is kind of deep, and it comes from a book I just read. And I feel like I need like a whole. I might either do a YouTube episode on it or a TikTok about like the lessons. I don't want to get too into it, but basically, my question for you is: love enough? I know, bestie. I'm sorry.
That's sad, bestie.
I think
this is hard because the hopeless romantic in me wants to say yes.
I just had this huge epiphany,
but I don't think it always is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's tough because. Yeah, that's tough. I don't even know what to say because, like I said, as a hopeless romantic, like, I love love, and love is so great and beautiful, and especially for the people like these like long lasting marriages that have been together forever, and it's like
right.
You hear like old people, you'll ask them like, how was this key to marriage, or like how have you been so happy this long, and they're just like, we just love each other, like it's just love and like whatever. But there are scenarios where you might love this person and they might love you, whether this is a long-term relationship or not, but you know in the back of your mind that like for whatever reason it shouldn't like you shouldn't be together, but you still love each other, and it may not be ending because the love went away, but it might be ending for other reasons, and you'll want to stick around because you love each other and you want to say that that's enough to get you through. But sometimes it's not, when you know in the back of your head what the answer is.
I asked it. I don't know. That's
a question,
but it was phrased in this book a way I'd never phrased it before. And like, just think about how many people you love. Like, so many. And I know I joke that I'm not a relationship girl or that I'm scared to say love, and that's really not the case. That's me just being sarcastic. Like, I do think I hope to be like truly like so content and happy in a relationship one day, and like I get
Kenna's low-key mushy-gushy.
I know,
she just doesn't
because
like to
sometimes
show
I
it.
show you the mushy-gushy
like
side.
I know it. I can see through you.
If you get to see me in a mushy-gushy side, you're a real one.
I know.
I can. Yeah. Okay.
You're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was just saying how it was this woman, she had been engaged for 5 years, and her husband's like, you don't want to marry me. And he's like, I know you love me, but there's a huge difference in loving someone. It's not what, sure, it's a fundamental basis of a relationship. I think it's very important, but I truly think there's so many people we could end up with, and that doesn't mean we don't love all of them. Like, you just find people that you love more. And I think a lot of what love is being ready for it and mutually having interest in a person. And it really, I hate that I'm saying this, it comes down to timing. Like, if you're ready to love and the person you're with is ready to love, like, sure. But also sometimes you might have the most perfect relationship and it's still not enough. And there's just so many other factors involved. So I think love can be enough. I think it's not always enough. Because sometimes you can love someone with your whole heart, but just know for the both of you, like, the life you're currently living together maybe isn't, you know, the best for both of you. Which hurts my heart because, like you were saying, like, as a hopeless romantic and as somebody, like, two girls in their 20s trying to, like, pursue people, find people that make them happy, and, like, eventually one day, like, be in a relationship and get married. Like, it's scary to think at this undescribable feeling that's truly, in my opinion, one of the most powerful things. Yeah, like, it makes you do crazy shit.
Magical.
And I will say,
powerful,
I do think
magical,
it's, like,
amazing.
the most powerful thing.
It
ever.
does. It does.
Like, it lets you and makes you do stuff that you would never do, which ties all around all this in. But I just wanted to end on that note, because the other quote that I'll share, she had this epiphany and she was like, this is the first time I'm thinking logically and not with my feelings. And I'm a big feelings girl, but when you logically think about things, you a lot of times get your answer. Yep. So,
yeah, sometimes the logical and the feeling answer don't match up,
to end
and you
on
know
that
which
note.
one you should go with.
But I thought it was a good one to talk about, and to be honest, I fucking love this episode.
It's okay. It was.
They are.
Me
we
too.
I do more because we do have a lot of knowledge and wisdom.
So good. I wish every episode was a girl talk
and we
episode.
hope you do too. So be sure to like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube,
We do.
or rate us 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast. We love you guys, and we'll see you in a video soon. Bye.